Hi, this is Mike. Today we're going to talk about Cisco Catalyst Wireless Controller Release 1610. Specifically, we're going to discuss a mesh configuration workflow on the CWC. If you worked before with our AirNet controllers, you probably know that there's many features supported, and this matrix here shows the features that were also implemented in the Catalyst wireless controller. For example, convergence times, best parent selection, DFS and non-DFS channel scans, multiple controller support, mesh high availability, mesh multicast, mesh Ethernet VLAN tagging, and many other features. So there are a couple of features that are not supported and are planned to be in the release 1611. We're going to start configuration of mesh setup with configuring MAC addresses of RAP, of root AP, and MAPs or child AP. Initially, just like in AirNet configuration controllers, we have to configure the MAC addresses on the controller so that controller knows which APs can connect in mesh mode. For that, we go, as you can see on the right-hand side menu, and choose AAA from the configuration menu. After that, in configuration menu, choose authorization, authentication, and accounting, and go to step 3, choose AAA Advanced. Next step would be number 4, choose AP authentication, and that's, as you see under tab MAC, you would enter the MAC addresses of all mesh APs. The following step would be under the same AAA configuration menu, is to choose the configuration and authorization option. So you go to step number 2 where it says authorization, and you configure the central mode, for example, like it says there, central authorization for the mesh AP under AAA authorization. Step number 2 in configuring mesh workflow on the Cisco Catalyst wireless controller would be to set up some mesh global configurations. For that, as you can see on the right-hand side global menu, you choose mesh option and go to configuration tab. Under configuration tab, you choose mesh and global config. In that screen, you can configure options such as Ethernet bridging, allow, subset channel sync, extended uni, B domain channels, RRM, and also you can configure in this screen PSK provisioning. So if you choose PSK provisioning for mesh authentication, you can also configure keys for those maps or reps to connect to wireless network. As is shown in an example below, the key was configured as Cisco key 1. Next step in mesh configuration workflow would be step number 3, where we're going to configure mesh profile. Same as in the previous step, you go on the main menu under a tab called Mesh Configuration. Choose option as shown number 3, Profile Configuration. In this example, we create a mesh profile, and as shown in example, it's called Cisco Mesh Profile. Under General tab, you can also configure additional options such as description of this profile, multicast mode, background scanning, channel change notifications, backhaul MSDU, backhaul client access, battery state of an AP, full screen sector DFS status. So again, important settings that you can set up right under General tab. Next would be configure some of the advanced options, and also in this tab under advanced mode you configure and set up the previously configured and authentication and authorization methods and map it to the mesh profile created earlier. Next step, number 4, would be configuring AP join profile, and by adding mesh profile and AP EAP authentication configuration. So we start with AP join profile by selecting AP join from the main configuration menu, and then choose AP join profile tab and configure Cisco Mesh AP profile. If you go under AP join profile, you can see that there are several tabs. If you click on General tab, you can choose the Cisco Mesh AP profile. Also, if you go under tab AP, as marked with number 5, you can configure IP type and AP authorization type for the AP to be connected to the controller. So in this step, you actually apply the previously configured Mesh AP profile to the AP profile. Step number 5 would be configuring mesh location tags. So in this step, we're actually going to set up the mesh APs that we have to a specific location, what we call a site tag. So again, we start with the main configuration menu. We choose tab or configuration option for tags, configuration. We go to tab called site, is marked with number 3, and then we add additional tag. In our case, example would be Cisco Mesh Site tag. Next step would be go to edit this site, Cisco Mesh Site tag, and apply it to a specific AP joint profile. So basically what we're doing is we're applying the location tag to the previously created mesh profile. Last step, step number 6, in configuring mesh network actually would be configuring all those mesh APs that we added MAC addresses prior in step number 1, and configure now as wraps or maps or root APs or child APs. So we go to the list of all the APs again by choosing from the main menu access point configuration. We looked at all the configured list of all APs, and again there would be a list of all the mesh APs that join the controller. We choose AP, and as you can see in tab number 4, marked as mesh, we choose that AP's role as root or mesh AP. In the same screen, you can see that we can configure backhaul radio type, 2.4 GHz or 5 GHz, backhaul slot ID, rate types, and several other options. This step basically completes the configuration of mesh networking on Cisco Catalyst wireless controller.